Hey there. So, something was brought to my attention by Spirit, and it was about MK Ultra. And I hear it, I've heard it, but I don't really understand what it was. So, when Spirit said, people need to understand this a little bit more, it's not something that just happened back then or something that happens to a selected few. This is what happens now to a lot of people. And so I contacted someone who I knew had gone through horrific circumstances and had her childhood stolen from her, as well as a few other family members, and lived through it and was able to find a way to survive and deprogram herself. And so when I reached out, the response was, yes, I'm ready. It's time. And so Spirit also said it needed to be a series. Couldn't just be something that just frickin' blows your mind for 1 hour or 2 hours, which is just too much information. And so Spirit asked for it to be broken up in segments, so that you could hear a little bit about the history of it, a little bit about this person's experiences, how it's happening today, how we can look for some of it, how we can step away from it, how we can change certain things so that we're not completely in it, how we can look for signs that other people are experiencing it, how to look for signs when you become completely mind dead because you're so controlled you don't even know what your own thought is. But it's not a series for anyone younger or you might not be ready to hear a lot of this information. It's here just to bring awareness on a topic that gets thrown out a lot, but there's not a lot of detail on it. And so I'm an inquisitive person, and I'm also a realist. And so I want to know, okay, so how does this affect us now, right? And how can we help each other in it? Because remember, what happens to one happens to all, because we're all one. What you change within yourself, you change within all on some kind of a frequency. So she believes, and I believe, that she survived, came out this other side, is doing the work that she's doing because she was chosen to be in it and to suffer at the hands of others, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, etherically, enough to break anybody. It's torture. It's torture. It is a crime against your persons, and of the most vulgar kind. And so I would suggest that you hear this when you're in a frame of mind that you can just be with the information and be compassionate, hearing the information, to reserve judgment, reserve getting defensive, reserve resistance, and just be in the information. When you're ready to go on to part 2, go on to part 2. Go on to part 3, go on to part 4. But to understand that this is real, this story happened to someone who's going to share what she wants to share and the details of which she wants to share them. So as much as we love your likes, we love your shares, we love your comments, I want you to do them with compassion. Because again, like I said, Spirit asked me, and the warrior that I am, I want information out there because it empowers you. The more information that you can have on certain things can empower you to work with the frequencies and change things. And I'm not saying taking a whole lot of stuff that's distractive, because there's a whole lot of stuff getting put out there that is just adding more swamp to your swamp. And it affects everything. Just listen with compassion. It's for adult ears only. Become aware of a little bit of the history, a little bit of this person's experience, a little bit about how you can make some daily changes. And Spirit just said I shouldn't have used the word little, because there's nothing little about any of this information. It's huge. It's a huge awakening moment for you. And isn't that what we're here to do? Is to experience as many awakenings as we can. To do what? To experience the lessons, to take action, to make changes within the frequencies. Whether that's a physical action, a mental action, etheric action, spiritual, emotional, whatever that action is. We are also here to right the wrongs and to release Mother Earth from holding on to all of that. Release us from holding on to all this persecution and bondage and enslavement, programming. So we're here to release this. So again, I ask you to listen with compassion. I ask you to share the video with people you think would like to hear it. Liking it. All these things help the algorithm, which says to the automatic systems within the machines, like, hey, this is getting some attention. Let's get it out there more, instead of it being in the basement, the YouTube basement. Please don't put me in the YouTube basement. All right? I look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful day.